Rovers bounce back with an unthinkable result against Norwich. That's right, 2-0 at Carrow Road. Would you Adam and Eve it? I don't Adam and Eve it. I just can't get over it myself. But we did it. 2-0, job done, 3 points at the can. And of course, a cracking response by Rovers after a damp squib of a couple of games. Both before and after the World Cup. Our biggest games of the season, people would say, but this was just important, if not more important, to some of those two games that we played. It's a difficult venue to go to, Carrow Road, but we came and we got what we wanted, and that was 3 points. I cannot explain it. The first goal down to a Ben Gibson own goal, 4 minutes on the clock. Rovers just taking an opportunity as it was presented to them. Free kick. Gallagher was involved in the melee. That was the strike, but I believe it came off for Ben Gibson in the end. Ex-Burnley man, thank you very much with your 6 fingers. So well done to Ben Gibbo, giving us the lead. It was a tense encounter. I thought Norwich were the better side, if I'm honest with you. Better side attacking, of course, because Rovers were solid defensively. Clean sheet for Kaminski, clean sheet for the back line there. And let's talk about that back line, because it was a little bit of a makeshift sort of lineup. Of course, back four, I believe, of Pickering, Domheim, who was wearing the captain's armband, and of course Daniel Ayala alongside, believe it or not, JRC, Joe Rankin Costello, was back. I thought he was done. I thought he would never grace the blue and white halves again, but he came back and he gave himself a stellar performance at right back. I don't think he did it, put a foot wrong, but a testament to him for never giving up and saying to, you know what, JDT, Callum Britton might be out, but I still think I could do a job for you at right back. So kudos to him for not giving up and of course taking his chance. And another player took his chance was John Buckley. I thought he was absolutely immense in the 3-man midfield of Dak, Buckley and Morton. Of course, those three, a difference. Of course, no Travis. Travis was on the bench because he was a bit shit against Preston, but we take it. We take these 3 points. What the concerns to me though were the two guys up top, or two of the 3 guys up top. Of course, Diaz looked a bit leggy, looked a bit ropey, didn't really have that creative zing or that attacking zing about him. Gallagher, a lot of running, a lot of effort, of course, and he was taken off with maybe a bit of an injury. So we'll see if he comes back for the midweek game against Forest or the game against Tony Mowbray on the weekend. Then Tyrhys Dolan, of course, was the 3rd man in that attacking trio. He got himself a goal, and well deserved for the lad, running his ass off and up against some big juggernauts of players, including ex-Rover, of course, Grant Hanley, who did manhandle it, Tyrhys, before the goal. A bit of an altercation, of course, kind of getting the blood pumping as well. So he was a bit of a bully, was Grant Hanley, but guess what? Tyrhys had the last laugh by putting the ball in the back of the net with a great breakaway chance on the right hand side. It might have took a bigger ricochet off McCallum there for Norwich, but it doesn't really matter how they go in as long as they do. 2-0 it was, job done, 3 points, and we remain 3rd, of course. Again, before I wrap up here, big shout out to Blue Rose Capital for sponsoring this video. They are legends, of course, in the local area, so I appreciate them doing their ting, brother. But of course, Rovers, 3 points massively as well, and it's a great antidote to what's been a bit of a shit sort of return to football. We are now 2 points clear of Watford in 4th, but more importantly, we are 4 points clear of Norwich, who are in 5th, of course. So this was a big result against one of those competing teams who are going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. Now, of course, Sunderland are next, of course, I believe on the horizon. That'll be on Monday, December 26th, Boxing Day, early kickoff for that one. And of course, we'll see how Watford will get on against Millwall earlier, well, actually about the same time. But yeah, happy days for Rovers. I'm elated for young Tyrhys Dolan, and I'm elated for the guys who put in a shift. They put in a real shift. They're going to come out of this with war wounds, but to be fair, they deserve all 3 points here for their, not only for their defensive display, but for bouncing back after a right old rollicking from Preston. Of course, it's still ringing in my ears. I'm still trying to forget that. Still trying to forget both those games against Burnley and Preston. But this will go a long way to righting that wrong. Meanwhile, of course, you know, having that in mind, of course, when we came back from the World Cup break with Preston and Norwich on the horizon, I was thinking ideally 3 points out of those 2 games, 4 points maybe, would have been ideal. So getting the result here gets us right back where I was hoping we would be. So I think Rovers have done themselves absolutely massive favours for keeping themselves in that mix, the top 6 mix. Of course, let's take a look at the situation between ourselves and second spot at the moment is still just 2 points. Of course, Sheffield United will be taking on, I think they've got there on Monday Night Football, up against, who are they playing? Of course, they're playing Wigan away. DW is a difficult place to go, so let's see if Wigan could do us a favour and deny the Blades from getting a result on that one. But anyway, I'm over the moon about this one. Make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell, of course. We'll be back. I don't know if we're going to do a review, but of course, I'm hoping to get some fan reaction from the guys, the Rovers sees Mafiosos. But until then, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. Of course, we'll go again very, very soon. Until then, subscribe. I'll see you soon for the next one.